Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be with you today. I have been with RunSignup, GiveSignup now for just about 3 or 4 months, but I have been a heavy user of the platform for much longer than that, and I've been organizing races for 16 years. So I have had extensive experience working on multiple platforms and really excited to share with you just something that I've fallen in love with over the last pandemic and loved so much that I bothered our CEO, Bob Bickle, till he gave me a job. So here I am as a senior account manager, and I support events and nonprofit organizations with making sure that they can get the most out of our platform. And one thing that led me to the platform in the first place was just the robust tools that it offers, including RaceJoy. So as many of us went through when we had to cancel all of our live events and find virtual options, how was I going to do these 5Ks for the American Brain Tumor Association and Susan G. Komen? Well, RaceJoy was the way that I could deliver content to people virtually anywhere they were, and then was introduced to the platform and just saw it as a way that made my life easier as an organizer and encompassed all the tools that I was using multiple platforms for into one. So I was grateful at the time, and then just so happy to join the team. And so here I am now talking about our sort of new initiative, which is a couple of years old, but GiveSignup, which was based and built from our RunSignup platform. And I'm here specifically to talk about our ticketing events, how to set them up, and how to use the CheckIn app for ticket events with GiveSignup. So the things that we're going to cover today is do an overview of GiveSignup for those that are new to it, or maybe you've had experience with RunSignup and not quite sure what GiveSignup is or what the differences are. Talk about some things to keep in mind as you're moving forward with 2021 events. So, and this is where I'm going to take some of my GiveSignup, RunSignup hat off and put my event organizer hat on, or maybe they're kind of balanced on top of each other, and talk through some things that I think are important as I've been moving through organizing events as well as supporting accounts with GiveSignup, RunSignup. We're going to set up a ticket event through our wizard, and then we're going to go through some sort of advanced settings that are going to show you all the capabilities that our ticket event platform has. Then we're going to look at the CheckIn app, and we're going to use an example from a recent event that I was involved with in Chicago for a beer festival, and show you how easy it is to check in folks and use that to seamlessly navigate with your attendees on site. And then we're going to talk about tips for when you're on site with the app. How can you optimize it with some sort of physical modifications or things, just how you set up your lines so that the technology is working great, but how do you make sure that your physical setup is supporting the technology? And then we're going to look at a few examples of ticket events that have been in action recently. So GiveSignup, I love our tagline, raise money, save time, easy. And I can say that those things were all realities for me as an organizer when I moved over to the platform. 9,000 nonprofits are using us, 22,000 race events are being hosted, and the most important part, and I know all of us that work in the nonprofit world have been through this, it's free. There are no subscription fees, no monthly, annual. There's no additional fee when you need to do extra customization, or when you've gotten through your 3 service calls or emails through the month and you need an extra little bit of help and suddenly you have to pay an upgrade for that. None of that is on our platform. And the idea is that we want to create no barriers for anybody to come on and at least try it. And that's really how I started, was just trying with one event and then realized all the benefits and then quickly moved everything else over. So those that are familiar with RunSignup, we built GiveSignup on the same technology and the same bones and framework that RunSignup was built on. So a lot of those tools that you saw with RunSignup are there in GiveSignup. We're using best-in-class technology, and of course, elevating nonprofits' revenue generation and supporter engagement. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And what's really important, it's a buzz phrase, but there's no other phrase to use. It's a purpose-built fundraising technology for nonprofits. And what that means is that this was, while you can mold and bend it in so many different ways to work for your organization. It was specifically designed for groups like you guys and groups that I was involved with that are looking for these solutions for registration, ticketed events, peer-to-peer fundraising, and making all of that work within one environment to make sure that we're optimizing event fundraising and online giving. And some of the things that you can set up, you can see there's a lot of different things you can do with GiveSignup, RunSignup. We're going to start from the left and move over, which is on more of our nonprofit side, and then move closer to the endurance races as we move across to the right. So first, ticket events, and that's what we're focusing on today. So that's your galas or special meet and greets, lunches that you're doing at your facilities or at different venues. Fundraising campaigns. So that's if you're doing a Giving Tuesday campaign, or you're encouraging people to, instead of get those Starbucks gift cards, have people actually fundraise for you at the, for a birthday fundraiser and asking for donations to a cause that's important to them. And then if you're collecting donations throughout the year using our donation form or a website for just annual giving. And then as we're moving closer to the endurance side, for memberships, so that would mostly resemble, especially those that are familiar with it, is our club memberships. So running clubs, that's what that would cover. Plus we're building that out even more to membership programs that would apply to all of our nonprofits. And then registration, which was really kind of the heart and soul of the beginnings of RunSignup, runs, walks, rides, and all of the different enhancements and features that are involved in those events, like peer-to-peer fundraising, like Race Joy. And then for endurance events, all the way to the right, the hardcore, so our timers using our race day suite and actually scoring races and producing results for people to see and enjoy, looking at the fruits of their labor as they participated in your events. So as I mentioned before, we are an all-in-one supporter engagement platform. So we're not just looking at one or two pieces of the event cycle or the nonprofit giving fundraising cycle. We're looking at everything. So that's your volunteers, your donors, your ticket purchases, your sponsors, your athletes for the endurance races, survivors, and featuring them through your pages. And then of course, all your supporters. And so it's touching on so many different pieces that you can basically use the GiveSignup platform and RunSignup platform for all of your needs. It's not just for registration or not just for peer-to-peer. They're all working together in tandem. And you can see at the bottom of our graph here that, or our graphic, that we have an integration using Reg Forward. So you don't have to move a mountain, which is what it seems like sometimes, right? When you just onboarded your firm with your organization with Salesforce, right? And now you're managing all of your customers and your constituents there. You can still use our platform and keep all that hard work and all that data intact and with integrity, and just integrate with Reg Forward. So there's really no barriers, and especially if you're just giving it a try, for that first event. So here's where, again, I'm putting on that hat where I can give some special considerations. Some events that I'm working on currently right now on this side are supporting some operations for the Chicago Triathlon, the Colorado Springs Marathon, and I'm also a timer. So this summer I'm timing the Leadville Race Series, which are those crazy rides where they're doing 100 miles at 10,000 feet. And then the run, which is 100 miles, and that's a 30-hour course limit. So I really enjoy being able to sort of straddle both sides of the event world, the technology piece in my role at GiveSignup, RunSignup, and then also helping to support some events. So things that I have noticed: make sure you're communicating with your local municipality and your venue for their rules and restrictions and any limitations to spacing and timing caps. Don't assume that your state has exactly what to follow, because it seems like at those local levels, it has proven that they are going to have the more nuanced requirements. So make sure you're reaching out to them, and don't assume that because it's one way in one county that it's another in the other. And when you're working with your permitting coordinators, to avoid those fire alarms, on Friday when you're setting up and your event is Saturday, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, there's something extra that we didn't have to do before the pandemic, brought the world to a halt. Ask them if there's additional waivers they need to sign, if additional language needs to be incorporated into your insurance documentation. I've already experienced some of that, so I want to make sure that you guys don't falter on that and ask those specific questions. Force them to make sure that you're going to be buttoned up and have everything you need. And then not just looking at the municipalities or the permitting agencies, but talk internally about how you want to present your event as well as your organization and the cause, and how and whether, if there's a minimum standard at the municipality level, is that what you want to project when you've got folks that are maybe suffering from cancer or other diseases that put them at risk. So make sure that the optics of what you're putting forward is also in line with your mission and those that are supporting you. Virtual options for live events are still very much a thing. Hybrid events are alive and well this fall season. So don't think that virtual events have gone away. There's still a demand for them, so offer that. And then packet mailing, you can offer that at both the virtual and the live event level. So that way you can help people reduce the level of contact that they have if that's something that they desire. And prepare for later registrations. We're seeing this across the board where people are nervous. They're nervous about committing to something because so many events were canceled or deferred. So when you're placing those orders, you're giving the final head count for the caterer, for your gala. Remember that you might see that surge at the end of the week. So don't let the planning fall off, knowing that you just may see later registrations than usual. And then over communicate. People maybe haven't heard as much from you during the pandemic, or maybe they didn't understand what was going to happen with the event and the organization. So make sure that they know exactly what your plans are, and if there's any special precautions or any special things that they're doing or that you're doing to support them, so that they can feel confident in purchasing a ticket or getting a registration for your event. So we're going to go through a ticket setup and actually set up an event. And just to cover a few points about the ticketing platform. So we're customizing these event websites. So it's not just a form, it's an actual website that can really bring forth your brand and your cause. And we allow automated rewards, which is super cool, and you can sell more tickets that way. And I'm going to show you that referral tracking when we get through the registration flow. Integrated one-time and recurring donations. So maybe somebody wants to give you 10 bucks, but you're going to have a quick and easy drop down to make that an ongoing recurring donation, either quarterly or annually. So that's huge. That means you're plugging those people into your network and supporting you year round. Easy data exports, financial reporting, and then that flat 4% processing fee for donations, which makes it so seamless and is below market rate with a lot of the other platforms. So some of the traditional ticket events that are out there, and as many of you know, because you've been planning these over the years, galas, pancake breakfasts, golf tournaments, wine tastings, beer tastings, which is the event we're going to cover today, bingo, trivia nights, bake sales, concerts, guest speakers. I mean, basically anything that you have sold a ticket for, right, or can be part of this list. Now we're going to get to the actual event ticket setup. Or ticket event setup. So I'm going to go ahead and bring over my browser here. We can see that just fine. Okay, let me minimize this just a little bit here. And we are going to get started. So to get started, you're going to go to the GiveSignup.org website, okay? And then you're going to click on Get Started Free. And you've got all of these options here. Today, we're going to focus on create a ticket event. So that's the first one in the upper left-hand corner. And bam, we're already in the wizard. We're already making progress. So we're going to go ahead and put in the details for the events. This one's called the Chicago Craft Beer Fest. And I'm going to put a number on it because I've done quite a few of these craft beer fest tests. So I want to give it a unique name. Excuse me. And then you can see I can select what event type it's going to be, from a golf outing to a camping trip, a dinner or gala. I think the best thing that applies to this would be a party or social gathering, because you're tasting beer, there's definitely going to be a party. The event date and start time, we're going to put this out in the future and say we're going to start on Friday. It's going to be a 3-day event. and we're gonna end on that Sunday. So Friday to Sunday. And then event description, usually I'd put in a more robust description, but for right now, for time purposes, we're gonna say all fun for everyone. And then I might put in some more details, could talk about parking, where do you check in with your ticket. Here I'm gonna put in the event logo, which I've got lined up here. Looking good. I want people to be contacting me. And there's a special button that's going to appear on the front page, and that'll default to emailing me if somebody clicks on it. And then the location description, let me just pull up my details here. So this makes sense to people that are in Chicago. And then we're going to put the actual address for people that are less familiar. I'm going to put in my zip code, and bam, it's going to recognize I'm in Chicago. I'm going to select my time zone and event visibility. So since I'm still working on it and I'm not quite ready to start marketing the event, I'm going to click on private, and that means that nobody can find it with any Google searches or other web browser searches. And when I'm ready to go live, I'm going to move it over to public. And then event URL identifier. This is cool. So I can customize this further. You can see it's defaulted to the name of the event that I put in, but I'm going to put in some additional uniqueness here since I've got some other test events in our system. And when I'm in the wizard, I can even turn on my donations right away. So that way I don't forget, right? Because this is important. And I'm going to set a goal of $25,000. Ambitious, but let's shoot for the moon here. I'm going to add a goal thermometer that will appear on my donate page so we can see the progress we're making. Donation message. This is so important. I don't want you guys to falter on this too. Some folks leave this blank. Some people put in one sentence. Put in 2 to 3 short paragraphs so that people feel motivated and compelled to support you and understand where the money is going that they're giving you. Then I'm going to throw in our logo for the organization, which is the West Loop Community Organization. And then look at this. It gives me some awesome levels to start from. And I actually really like these defaults, the 10, 50, 100, and 250. But I'm going to further customize it with some language that maybe this group uses internally. And I'm going to say, all right, $10, you are definitely a fan of us. At $50, you're a friend. And at 100, you basically have moved in. And at $250, you are family. You've got a seat at Thanksgiving. So you can call these, bronze, gold, or bronze, silver, gold, platinum if you'd like. You can delete these and only have a couple levels. You can add 20 levels if you want. I think we default to 4 because I think this is a good number and makes sense to people. They can also enter in a customized amount if they'd like to. But I think a lot of people are motivated to just click a button rather than have to enter something in. And then I'm going to click this. I've read the agreement. If I want to read it in more detail, I can click on this link here. And hopefully I've got everything in that is required. It'll tell me if I didn't. So I'm going to create the event and continue. And here we go. It's working. Bam. All right. Successful first step through. And now I've got my tickets. So in this case, I've got a 3-day festival and I've got several sessions that people can sign up for each day. So I'm just going to set up a couple just so you can see how it works. I'm going to say Friday, session number 1. Oops, let's try and get the spelling right. We're going to say 5 to 7 p.m. I like to use a lot of descriptors in my ticket so it's not confusing to people, especially when you've got multiple time frames for an event. We're going to open ticket sales today, and then I'm going to end it the day before so that I can, make sure that I've got all my data in line and we're not focused on, but you can keep it up through your event and even through all the way to the very last hour. You don't have to shut it down before your event. And I'm going to say that it's $50. Another cool thing is I can add an additional automatic pricing tier. So if I'm going to do that, let's say, all right, I want to shut everything down on September 2nd, but the week before, I want to shut down this discounted pricing and say we're going to shut that down on the 26th. Then on Friday, 1 week before the event, I'm going to move that up to $60. So pro tip, that's when I'm going to be doing my social media posts and an e-blast to all of my constituents saying, hey, save $10 by signing up today on the 26th. Prices go up tomorrow, $10. Then I can add an additional ticket. Saturday session number 1. We're going to say 12 to 2:30. Isn't typing in front of people the best? And then I'm going to open registration again, and look, it defaulted to my 26th date here. I love when it's smart like that. Add another purchase period. Whoa, it knows I'm ending right around midnight, starting the next tier at 8:27. So some foolproof things in there to help make sure that mistakes are not made. And I'm going to stop it on the day before. We're going to put in the $50. We're going to put in the $60. Right, so now it's that whole infomercial catchphrase, set it and forget it. So I know that and can feel confident that on the 27th, I don't have to be in a panic at midnight to make sure that that price goes up. It's going to automatically do it for me. So I'm going to save. Whoops, I did not end when I did that extra tier. So again, it's making sure that I don't make any mistakes in catching me. Excuse me. All right, so now we're at the financial piece of the wizard, and I'm going to decide who's going to pay the processing fee. So like I mentioned before, there are no subscription fees, but how do we make our money? RunSignup, GiveSignup, we're charging a processing fee for the registrations and for the tickets. So I can either take all of that and just come out of the charge of the price of the ticket, in this case, the $50. But I think there's a customer expectation, a consumer expectation that they're going to pay the processing fee. So that's how I'm going to treat registrations, but I can have a different policy or a different way to treat my donation processing fees. And I would say that a lot of groups like to have that even number of a $50 donation and not add the processing fee on. So if that's the case, I would click here. And when I click on this option 2, later in the customization, I can set it so that they have the choice to actually cover the fee and make their donation go further. And it actually says some of that language in there. So I think that's a great way to give people the option. And 9 times out of 10, they usually just go ahead and cover it to make sure that their support goes as far as it can. So I'll keep that at there. And then my payment account, I've already got some set up here. So I'm just going to choose this one. And bam, your settings have been saved. Wonderful. So now I'm going to continue on. And look at that. Congratulations. We did that in just a few minutes, right? I've already got my event set up and I can start selling tickets right now. I'm going to go to my dashboard. This is just reminding me that I'm leaving the wizard. And here I am. At first, it's going to take me to where I can customize my color scheme. So this is a way to really bring your branding forth and make sure that your page and your event looks unique. But what we're going to do is now I'm going to switch to, just like we see on cooking shows, the pie that's already fully baked. We're going to go into one that we have configured a little bit more so that we can see some of the additional setup. So what I wanted to do, we're good on time. I wanted to go through a little bit of the back end on the dashboard. I know those of you that organize these events and are responsible for setting these up and running reports, like this is where you're going to be like tunnel vision, right? To see how it all looks. And it's very intuitive. The first thing I'll point out, menu search, this is a lifesaver, and all us account managers use it too, because sometimes you just forget where something is in the menu, and bam, you can find it here. So if I'm, looking up anything, that's like a ticket cap, I just start typing ticket cap, and then you can see it's pulling up anything within the menu that I can configure that has that phrase. So if I didn't remember where ticket caps were, which it's under tickets, that would help me get there very quickly. So I'll back up a little bit and go up to event. The basic info, you can come in here, and these are all those things that I had put in during the race or the event wizard. So I can modify those, and just so you know, once you go live, you can still modify these things. There's certain things that you probably don't want to modify, but most of it you can continue to update as you go along. So don't feel like it has to be perfect. Like put that perfectionist event planning type of personality to the side, and make sure that you just get rolling and you can keep building and making it look exactly the way you want. Publish settings, so we talked about this earlier. I've got it set to public here for this event, but I'm gonna go ahead and switch it back to private because I'm not ready to start marketing it. People would only be able to find it if I were to give them the direct link. And by the way, the direct link to the event ticket site is right here where it says view website. So when I click on that, it's gonna take me to my front facing page. And we're gonna go through an actual ticket purchase to show you the flow of that. Back to your dashboard. Under event page, so I can create calls to action where I'm putting in some text as well as a URL. Maybe it says, go to this link to find out more about the West Loop Community Organization. And then I can configure my cover page. So we have it configured already for this event, but our default does not turn this on. What the cover page does though, and it's so powerful, is it turns it from a typical ticket site and makes it look like its own website. And we have lots of groups out there that rather than have dual or two things that they're trying to update, a website and the registration site or the ticket purchase site, you can actually house a lot of your content on GiveSignup, RunSignup, and therefore you're not constantly updating two things every time something changes. And you'll see here, there's lots of different content pieces that we can add. So when I click on plus, I can do a full width or 2 columns. I can put a countdown to either the start of ticket purchases or the actual event itself. I can put in custom actions, and then I can do video, which is, you can put in a YouTube link, and it actually opens the YouTube video within the RunSignup page, so it doesn't bounce you over to YouTube. And then this data piece is great. So I can do social media icons. I can drop in my event tiles, so that those are the different tickets that I set up. And then I can also show that donation goal thermometer, which gets people excited and makes them motivate to help it move further along to the right. And then under, whoops, clicking around a little quick here, secure access. So if I want to give other people in my organization or on the committee access, I can do that here. And that way we can both go in and make edits, and I'm not the sole responsible party for all of that. I can add custom questions. So in this case, this isn't typical for a ticket event. It's more on the race side, but as you can tell, I'm a little bit more endurance focused in my past experiences. And so in this case, I'm saying that yes, you're getting a t-shirt, and I can put in the different options that they can select in the registration flow. So we're capturing that information, but this could also be, how did you hear about our event? Or how many years have you come to our gala? Are you here in support of a survivor? So anything that you would like to know about your participants, you can add here and it will come out in your participant reports. Notifications. So this is super important in giving that extra personal touch when somebody is getting a notification on an act that they have taken. So, or an action that they've taken within your site. So when a ticket is purchased, you can go in and see which of the replacement tags, the different data that's being pulled from their ticket purchase into the confirmation email. You can add additional text and say, thanks so much for supporting us. Remember to go to O'Brien's to park and go to Schiller to check in, right? So you can give any special instructions right there, because a lot of people are going to go back and use that confirmation email to know, like, whoa, I signed up for that event. When is that again? What do I do? Where do I park? And then you can see that there's also configurations for donations made. So you can have a special thank you message, or make your donation go further by contacting your employer to see if they have a matching program. So these are great places to continue to communicate with folks. And let's see, we're gonna move on to check-in. So these are the check-in app settings. You can set a password that makes sure to protect things when your volunteers and staff are using that. We're gonna get to the check-in app in a little bit. I can add a waiver if I want. I usually do that with ticketed events to make sure people know that no refunds are available and the event will happen rain or shine, especially important for outdoor events, and that just gives people a little bit of a reminder, but that's also optional, so you can click on there is no waiver. And then under tickets, this is where I can set up them, and I did already do this. So you can see I've got the different sessions for each day. And I can also set up ticket groups, which is what I did. So all of my shifts on Friday are grouped into the Friday shift. So I can select in the process of registering or buying my ticket, what day do I want to do? And then I can choose the shift that I want. Information collection. So this is where you can configure, do I want to actually find out information about each ticket holder? Or if somebody buys 10 tickets for their friends for the craft beer fest, do I really care? Do I want to know what their information is? Am I afraid that's going to slow down the process of them buying those tickets? Then maybe I don't need that information. But if it's really important, especially high ticket items, you want to collect extra data to be able to communicate with them and market the event, other events, or this event in the future, then this would be a good way to do that. I can set participant caps here. So let's say I've only got 400 spots. Otherwise, if I don't do that, then I'm gonna break the current restrictions on capacity as deemed by the city of Chicago. I can set my pricing here. We saw that we did that in the wizard, but I can configure that further. We can also do combo tickets, which are cool. So let's say that you've got a special session with one of the craft beer brewmasters. And so and he's only going to be there Friday. So if they select a Friday ticket, I can set up a combo ticket that says, well, if they select Friday, give them the option to add on the special sit down with the brewmaster and assign a price to that as well. So I want to be cognizant of time, so I'm not going to go into every single nook and cranny here, but reports, I think that's important for a lot of people to be able to see who are the people that purchased all their information. And you can download very easily a CSV Excel report for that. Referral tracking. So I am going to pause on this one because I feel like this is a game changer. Think about this. When you see something on Facebook as you're scrolling through, if you see an advertisement for a race or a ticketed event or a gala, you might be interested, right? But if you saw that your friend Betsy in Kansas City is saying that she's going, you're probably going to be more willing and more interested in going, right? So what referral tracking does is it sets up a specific link for that person that bought the ticket that is tied to them only. And when they share that with their email list or social media, and anybody that uses that link to buy a ticket, they get credit for it. And the way I have it set up here is that with 5 ticket purchases, they're going to get a refund of $20. So essentially, I've turned in all my ticket purchasers into ambassadors that are out there marketing for me, and I'm not really paying them, right? Like, I'm giving them a refund if they reach that incentive level, but even if they get 2 people from sharing that link out and don't reach the incentive level, I just got 2 extra people from their network that maybe I would have never had access to, and I paid $0 for it. So incredibly powerful tool. I recommend everybody turns it on if it makes sense for your organization. We have some CRM capabilities, a little bit out of the scope of today as we're sticking to some of the basics, but we have the ability to put up customer lists to be able to market them from our platform. You can add store items. So in this case, I set up an extra beer mug that I think a lot of craft beer fest attendees would be interested in. And I can, this could be a sweatshirt, this could be parking pass, it could be a VIP upgrade. And that all stays within the flow of the registration. So it's happening in one transaction when they've already got their credit card out. You're not asking them to take additional action later. And of course, I can go in and run reports on the orders that have been made. I can go in and do some additional configuration for my donations. We did a lot of this in the wizard already. And of course, I can run reports on the donations to see who has donated. And then I can run financial reports. Now, as you can see, all of these test cases in here that we have are non-payment ones because it's tests. But otherwise, you would see numbers in here showing all the transactions. I can look at the payments that were made to my payment account weekly to see what money came in from this event. And if I have multiple events on the platform, it'll easily break down by event showing what money came in from where. I can set up coupons. So if I want to do a special sunny day discount, today only 20% off, and share that on social media, or I've got sponsors that I want to take care of, I can set up comp codes here for them. I can even set up photo albums and people can upload. I mean, there's so much in this platform and we don't have enough time to cover it all, but I wanted to make sure that you guys saw those pieces. Now, real quick, we're just going to go and do an actual flow through the registration, which is very quick and simple. So let's say I'm going to sign up for the Saturday event. Actually, sorry, let me back up again. I want to make sure you see the cover page. So if you saw briefly when I showed the page I set up today on the screen, it was pretty simple. The cover page makes a more robust layout. So I've added pictures here from the event. Here's those event tiles that I set up. Then these are those dual or the double columns where I put in content, talking about more details for the event, more pictures to keep it lively and interesting, what's included, what else, so what's beyond the event, go to PB&J, then all of the logos for the beers that we're tasting, further action, these are those call to action buttons, social media icons, who you should reach out to. So you can really make a nice, robust looking site. And now as I sign up, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that first Friday option, and I can continue. And here it's gonna ask me for ticket info. You can turn this off, again, like I mentioned before, if you don't really care about every ticket purchaser, or sorry, ticket holder, you only care about the purchaser. But I could easily copy my settings, which makes it great. And of course, I just celebrated just a week ago, my 21st birthday. So we're gonna be truthful, if you will, on the age. And I'm gonna say I'd like a large shirt. And you notice, I can go back here. There's that t-shirt image there. So that helps hopefully motivate people to wanna buy that. And then I've got the description here too, so they know what kind of shirt they're getting. And here's where it's asking for the donation. So it's got the description that I put in, what's happening to their donations, what amount do I want to put in. If I want to put in $50, I can therefore choose if it's going to be a recurring payment. Let's say I want to do monthly, and then I can be anonymous, or I can do it on behalf of my mother, Ann. I'm going to continue, and here's where the store option is. So I could have lots of different options here, like the parking, like the VIP upgrade. I do want an extra beer, and then look at this cool thing. I can put in strike-through pricing. So you save $5, of course you're going to add $10 on to get that extra beer mug. And then I get to the cart. So you see there were not that many screens. It moved very quickly and made it really easy to make quick decisions. It's showing me my cart total here. Here's where that coupon code is. I think we were having breakfast when I first set up these codes, so that's why the coupon code is bacon. And it went ahead and discounted the ticket fee, and you can see it's still showing the donation. So coupons do not work on donations. So you still see the amount here, put in my credit card details, agree to the agreement here, and then I pay. So very easy to go through that entire flow. So I know that was fast and furious, but account managers like me are around to be able to show you it in more detail if you want to dig into anything detailed later. So I think we accomplished all the goals that we put in here. And so now I want to show you the ticket check-in app. Before I bring that up on the screen, so if any of you have used the Race Day Check-in app for RunSignup, it was built on that same technology and looks very similar. It's available for iOS and Android devices. It's free on app stores. You can look up tickets two different ways. So you can either search by a name, or you can scan the QR code from somebody's email if they show it to you on their phone or if they have a printout. Allows for quick check-in of all attendees with tickets from a single purchaser. So let's say that friend that bought, that's like super friend, right? And bought 10 tickets for all of his buddies. We can do a single check-in for all of them, as opposed to your volunteer staff member having to go down and boom, 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 click each 10. Again, as we all know, sometimes that line management can really make or break an event experience, and especially because it's your first touch point that your attendees have when they get on site. Whoops. And volunteers can even use this on their own. So you don't have to, use a lot of, you don't have to invest in technology hardware in order to offer this service. You can just ask your volunteers to quickly download the app. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and again, it's free, and then they can use it themselves. But I am going to go into some pro tips on this, and I'll speak a little bit more about the equipment in a second. So here's my list of things that I want to go over. Bear with me here while I go ahead and switch over to my screen. All right. Okay, so this is what the app looks like when I am about to search for an event. So in this case, I'm gonna click on the search field up at the top, and I'm gonna type in my event. And as you can see, I've been working with a few of these test cases for this specific event, and therefore you can see the multiple ones, and they're already up at the top, and they're my events because I've registered for them. And I'm going to click on the second one here, which is the one we were looking at before. And now you can see it's going to take me to this event menu, but I'm going to come off of this, and right here are all of my ticket purchases. So I'm just using my finger to scroll down through everybody that has purchased it. Now, obviously, this is easy for me when I only have this many tickets, right? It's under 50. But if you had thousands of tickets, this would not be a great way to find somebody. So instead, you would want to type in a name. This is the first way to look up. So I'm going to type in Kylie. And for those of you that know Australian and British and World Pop will appreciate this ticket purchaser or this ticket holder. And so she is, let's see, so she's got her ticket holder information right here. And then that custom question is sitting right there for with the answer. So if she's getting a shirt at the gate, I know to give that to her right away. And then the green button up here at the check-in button, I'm going to click on that, and you can see Kylie Minogue has been checked in. I'm going to go back at the top to the ticket arrow there, and let's say, oh, nope, that was not Kylie, that was her sister Danny, also a huge pop star in the world. And we're going to uncheck in Kylie right there. So, and then it'll show now it's green, she has not been checked in. So there's some great management there and ways that are foolproof in case somebody makes a mistake. Now, the other, we talked about with the multiple tickets purchased by one person. So I'm going to bring up Winston, and you can see Winston has 3 tickets that he made when he made his purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and check in all of them. And now you can see all 3 of them have the green check marks next to them. But let's say, oops, nope, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, there's only 2 of you here right now, and one person's coming later. No problem. I'm just going to go back. Sorry, I'm going to go back and say, that third one, I'm going to uncheck in. I'm going to go back to the ticket view, and you can see now only 2 of them are checked in and 1 is not checked in. So again, mistakes can be fixed, and really quick and easy views to see who's checked in and who hasn't. And I can configure these settings. So I wanted to show you under the settings option, I can set some information presets. So I can say, okay, I want to show first name, last name, email. Maybe I also want to show the city because maybe a John Smith, there might be multiple John Smiths coming to my event. But John Smith in, Aurora and John Smith from St. Peter's, now I know which John Smith I'm talking to and who I need to check in. And then here's that custom question that I added. So any custom questions that were in the system, I can say, please show that to the volunteer staff when they're viewing the ticket check-in. So, and that was just a recent development we put out a couple of days. There's so much development going on and additional features, which is just so cool. So let's see. Oh, let me go back to those settings. I wanted to show you too, ways that you can make sure that mistakes happen as little as possible. So let's say that we've got 3 days of tickets, and maybe somebody has bought multiple tickets for across 3 days. I don't necessarily want the volunteers to accidentally check in the Saturday ticket for when they're on Friday. So I can uncheck whatever ticket groups I don't want to appear so that only Friday ones are able to be viewed and actually checked in. So that's pretty cool, right? That's going to make sure that folks that aren't as familiar with your event, but you're relying on to support you at that gate, set them up for success. All right, let's go back to my list here really quick to make sure I have covered everything. Oh, and then scan the QR code. So that's the other way that we can get somebody checked in. So I'm gonna bring you can't see this, but I've got a QR code in my email right now. I'm gonna switch to the camera mode, and bam, there it goes. Pete Buttigieg, our Secretary of Transportation, is coming to our Craft Beer Fest. And I'm going to go ahead and check him in. And there he is with the green mark. So really cool tool. It's helping lots of groups. And I'll say that this, let's move back to okay. So we used this with the sold out Chicago Craft Beer Fest a few weeks ago. And sometimes when you hear nothing, that's the best thing, right? And we heard nothing. And I've had fire alarms, emergencies from other platforms and their check-in apps, and had to get out of bed to go and help them in the past. and we heard nothing. And then I talked to the team that was out on site afterwards, and they said it just moved flawlessly. They didn't even think of it. And what better review of something, right? As far as technology is, you didn't even have to think about it because it just worked exactly as expected. All right, so let's see. So event flow optimization, and try to be careful on time here. Make sure you differentiate your lines by ticket. So if people are walking up and they're gonna buy a ticket on site, don't put them in the same line as your pre-registration people. Make sure you separate that. And then if you've got special things going on, like a VIP ticket and a general admission ticket, and they go to different areas or they get different swag at the gate, have them go into different lines, and that will help move people in through faster and eliminate mistakes with things being given that shouldn't be. Again, people can use their own devices, your volunteers and staff, but I would always recommend, and I always do it, is I bought cheap iPhones that are like the 7th or 8th version that don't have any contracts, that I can connect to a Wi-Fi and bring on site to make sure I've got backups. And then of course, cords and battery packs and access to a generator if you can. Put volunteers in front of the gates so they can ask people to get their tickets up and rolling before they get to the actual person scanning them, and tell them to increase the brightness on their phone. And then let your volunteers have a little bit of fun, have them role play with test cases. You could forward an email that you did with a test case, and then they can have their buddy volunteer scan them in. That gets them more comfortable with it. The other cool part of this too, I just wanted to quickly mention, is that let's say your Wi-Fi goes down, and we all know it gets overloaded at events when you put thousands of people in an area. This app, it can be used without that. So it is syncing continuously every minute or so with data. But let's say it goes down, it has downloaded the data to your phone, so you can still check in people. And that's an invaluable resource when we're in those touchy service areas. And then real quick, I just wanted to touch on some examples of success stories. So the Capitol Pride Honors and Official Pride opening party, they sold out. And I think that part of their success was having a really simple, straightforward ticket options for the basic admission, and then the open bar, which is the upgrade. And then you might have seen, if you're following our blog, our GiveSignup blog, Taste the Town. And so what we wanted to highlight with this event is when you find something that is successful, it's okay to repeat it. You don't have to reinvent the wheel each time, come up with new branding and all of that. So if something works for you, do it again. You've got a built-in audience that's interested, and clearly it's a proven product or a proven event that people are interested in. And then this one, the Seminole Showdown, an in-person outdoor event with food trucks, beverages, auction, wrestling matches. We think that they just did a really great job branding their event website. You can see they were using those content blocks, using their brand colors, and over 50% of their ticket purchasers did actually add donations on. So it's so important to put that in. People get worried, oh, I'm asking for too much. Trust me, if people are interested in your event, in your cause, like they want to help, they're looking for ways to help. So give that opportunity to them and let your event be even more successful. So I think, and we're gonna give these links out to everybody in the follow-up email. So if you do want to dive into these examples, you're absolutely able to do that. So I think now we're coming up here on our question portion. So hopefully, you got sort of a baseline, and want to open it up for any questions or anything from the chat that Johanna can share that we can answer.
Great, thanks, Steve. I got a couple of questions that we can run through. You guys can continue to add them, and if we don't get to your question, then we'll make sure we follow up after the webinar as well. First one, just a question: if you want to test the ticket check-in with volunteers, how would you create test tickets that people can play with for that process?
Great question. So you notice that when I did the coupon to zero out my ticket price or my ticket purchase with bacon, so that's what you would do, is you would actually create test cases by just signing up some fictitious people like your favorite pop star, like I did, and then use the coupon code that will zero out the amount. Don't add a donation or anything so that it can be zeroed. And then test those, and then when you're ready, you can always delete those at any time so that it's not skewing or manipulating your reports.
Does the 4% fee include credit card processing fees, or is it 4% in addition to another fee?
It is 4% flat. So When we say 4%, it's 4%, and that's for donations. On the ticket prices, it is 5.8% of the ticket fee plus $1 for the transaction. So if you're doing 10 tickets, you only pay that $1 once, and then it's just 5.8% of the total.
And is GiveSignup only for nonprofits?
So GiveSignup is only for nonprofits. Yes, we are focused on servicing that community right now, and I think that there are some great solutions on RunSignup that can be used for profit events, and you might be able to accomplish the same things. But GiveSignup is focused for nonprofits.
That is it for now. We'll send out this recording tomorrow along with any of the links, any other information that we can include. But thanks for doing this, Steve.
Absolutely, I had fun. Thanks everyone, and please reach out to your account manager if you've already been assigned one, and if you don't know who it is, reach out to info@givesignup.org, and chances are either myself or Elizabeth will get back with you and make sure that you get all your questions answered.
See you guys next time.
Thanks everyone.